Hello, this is your host Lakota Ravoc, and we're going to play TIMBERBORN. This is a game about a post-apocalyptic society of beavers that are trying to rebuild and survive. And with the latest update, Update 6, they've added some great new features, including some three-dimensional water physics, which really make the game a lot more fun. I've been playing this a lot. If you ever go to my Steam page, you'll see I have a lot of hours in this game. It's a blast. So we're going to start a new game, and we're going to choose the Folktales. This is my favorite faction between the two. Hopefully they make a third faction. I would really like to see another option. And we're going to take the new map, Cliffside. This map was introduced with the Update 6. So it's a neat little map. We're going to go ahead and get into it right now. And we're just going to go on normal mode. All right. So first thing we have to do is we have to name our settlement. I think that'll work. We have a bunch of beavers here. We got 8 adults and 4 children. And what we're going to do is, first off, get 4 workers. And then we're going to lay down some paths. Okay, we have our paths laid out. And I like setting my paths up so they're efficient and to make it easy to get to certain areas and not take up too much space. So you'll see here when I start laying things down why I have them set up a certain way. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a gatherer flag and we're going to set it right here. Next thing I'm going to do is grab a couple lumberjack flags and then put one here and down here. Okay, now I'm going to drop some water pumps. I'm going to put one here and here. Add a path to that. Next, I'm going to drop a farmhouse because we're going to need to get food as quick as possible. And I'm going to lay that right here. This has our largest space available right now, so it's going to give us the best way to get food. I'm going to drop some carrots, and I'm dropping a 7x7 grid and some sunflowers. The reason I'm dropping a 7x7 grid is because with the Folktales, they have beehives accessible later down the road. And what I like to do is take out the middle tile for the beehives. Beehives cover a 7x7 grid, so it makes it very easy to cover all of those plants at once. Next, let's drop down some water storage and then a large pile right here for wood. Let's make sure we put down what these are for. Next, I want to get an inventor, and I'm going to tuck it in right here. Get some early science quickly. And finally, we're going to put some dams down. Damn! Block this off right here. And my goal is to take this section and dam it up so that we have a large body of water here for aquatic plants later. And then I'm going to use some roads, kind of block this off so they stop growing here. So trees and bushes, they need a space around the plant that they can seed in order to sprout a new tree or bush. So we use the road tiles to kind of block off that access. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark trees for cutting. I'm going to take all these here and mark all these here, but I'm going to do something a little different with this lower section. So what I did is, in this lower section, I created a checkerboard pattern with the cutting tool so that trees can seed themselves and create a natural forester until I can actually create a forester's hut, which shouldn't be too far down the road. And finally, we're going to put some medium warehouses down in this little section up here, because we're going to make this into a tiered warehouse system. And these are going to be for our blueberries and our carrots. All right, let's get the day going. And I do play on the fastest speed most of the time, so I'm going to click that and let them roll. We're also going to start high prioritizing certain jobs to make sure that basic needs are being met and stay that way. So food and water are always highest priority. Construction jobs are technically medium priority. One thing you'll notice while we're doing this is eventually you'll see roads in places that don't really need to be there, because I hate seeing stumps, so I clear them out with the rolled tool. It's a good way to just get rid of small pieces that are unessential and that they won't harvest or get rid of. It also ensures that trees won't seed themselves if you're trying to clear an area out, because they're surrounded by road tiles. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a teeth grindstone for our tree cutters right up here. And for preparation of future plans, I am making sure this area gets cleared of trees. All right, farmhouse is already built. We've also got our carrots and sunflower seeds planted, and it looks like we have just enough water right here to allow us to get this sunflower seed. So our 7x7 tiles are working out really good. Water's taken care of, and we've got storage going in. We have our berry picker here. And once they get that large pile in for the logs, they should start in on the dam, which is essential. Oh, my mistake. They're going to do the inventor's hut next. These beavers will start construction in order of placement. So if you want them to do something first, place that down first, or change the priority of the construction up here in the window. You can also pause the construction of any building prior so that it doesn't get built right away, or if it's being built and they're doing it ahead of schedule, you can pause that construction so they'll move on to the next task in order. But they will always place priority on the first placed building and go in that order of when you placed it. And next thing we're going to do is get some basic housing down with some lodges. And we're also going to add a campfire here in front. And once they get everything else built, and they'll start working on that, it should improve our well-being and start getting us some baby beavers. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Say baby, I can't even say it one time. Say baby beavers 12 times fast. We're also going to prioritize our inventor's hut, the single inventor's hut, for now, until we get more beavers and we get more huts. And then we're going to change the workplace priority so that when it's a dry season, they'll use those inventor huts to make science on the dry seasons. And we got our dam in place now, so we don't have to worry about our drought for the first few seasons. And then we're going to start working on building a larger dam here. As you can see, they've cleared out a large section of this area, so I'm going to start deleting some of these road tiles. For me, it just clears it up and it looks nicer. Even if I don't use the space, it's aesthetically pleasing to me. Okay, looks like they got basic housing going in, which is going to be helpful. We've got our storages in, so they've got berries already being stored, and carrots should be coming really soon. Next thing we're going to start working on is going to be a lumber mill. So let's drop that lumber mill, and let's get them a power wheel, which needs a beaver to make the power. Connect those together, and we're going to make the power wheel a high priority to make sure it's always being manned or beavered. And the lumber mill is going to be at a medium priority. Once those planks start getting produced, we'll be able to unlock our forester hut, and we can actually start making trees and have an endless source of wood.
We did it! Talk about all rise. Giggity!
Nice, our well-being got up to 5 already because of housing. So this is your beaver's well-being. They have basic needs like hunger, thirst, sleep, shelter, and wet fur. And then different food needs like carrots and sunflowers and potatoes. Social life like the campfire and a contemplation spot. Aesthetics, awe, and fun, as well as knowledge, which you'll need books. So all these constitute to their well-being, which then translates to things like increased working speed, increased movement speed, and increased life expectancy. And as you see down here at the bottom, well-being scores, when they hit a certain tier, will increase those scores a little bit and give like the life expectancy an extra 20%, so they live a little longer. We're at 40 science already. Once we get to 60 science, we can unlock the forester hut, and we can place that down over here and start making our own trees, which is going to help us a lot in the long run, because we're going to need to stockpile those, because we're going to need to build not only a dam over here, but we're also going to need to build a channel and dam over here, mainly because this is our water source, and when we get to bad tides, we're going to want to direct the water source from going down here to going off the map. So it doesn't affect our beavers. And it looks like I got all the housing in. And we've got a campfire starting to be built, so that's going to improve their well-being score. We're on day 11, and we should be really close to our first drought. So we got the 60 points we need. We're going to unlock that forester, and we're going to put him right here. So we're going to clear out this space a little bit. All right, so we put our forester here, we placed our 2 lumberjack flags here, and we moved our grindstone. We moved our grindstone over here. That way we've got more room for trees once we get everything else built. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start laying out trees here in a little bit. Okay, we've got our drought approaching. We've got 3 days till the drought hits, and it'll be a short one. Being on normal mode, they don't last very long, so I expect anywhere between 1 to 3 days. So we laid out a bunch of birch trees here for some quick lumber, and then we fill this bottom area with a bunch of pine trees. So that should get us plenty of wood going once we get our lumberjack hut up and running. All right, our lumber mill's already built, and all we need left is get all the logs we need for the power wheel, and we can start crafting planks. Now the next order of business is to get 120 science points and unlock these levees so we can start crafting our large pool of water. With that, the drought is here. We're going to shut off our water pumps. And if you ever want to pause a structure when you're on it, just hit P and it'll automatically pause it and unpause it. You see the dam is holding back the water, so we've got plenty of water for this 3-day drought. So it'll keep everything nice and green. Now you may have noticed I have a road bordering this little section here. That's because I need to be able to get beavers to this area to start constructing this large dam we're going to build here in a little while. And it looks like we hit well-being 7. We've got hunger, thirst, sleep, and shelter taken care of, as well as carrots, sunflowers, and our campfire. So all 13 beavers have got a great well-being right now. So that increases their working speed to 10% extra, movement speed to 5%, and their life expectancy to 20%, which is fantastic. So we'll get a little more life out of our beavers, and they'll work a little harder. So we have a twofold reason why we want to make a larger pool of water here. One is so that we can get aquatic plants down in these areas later down the road, so these trees will go away. Another reason is because up here, the water can go actually 1 tile higher. That means we'll have more water available to us through droughts. And one additional reason is that the higher water will also cause this dry patch of land to become green and fertile so that we can put more trees down and more vegetables down. Now, along with the levees, we're also going to need to unlock the wooden stairs. And with that, cycle 2 begins and our drought has ended and the water is going to start flowing again. So let's unpause our water pumps and get water back into our village here. And even with that, it looks like we'll probably need to increase our storage capacity for water, so we'll add a couple of more water storage units. And once we get this dam built over here, our next goal will be unlocking our platforms, the single, the double, and the triple platform, going up this ridge and getting to this water source so we can start building our channel dam so we can start diverting the bad water. Looks like our forester is in place. Let's up the priority. And we're also going to add this, replant dead trees not marked for cutting. This is in case we don't finish that channel dam in time for that first bad water. He will automatically replace all the dead trees that come from that bad water. And we got our 120 science, so we're going to unlock those levees and start laying out for our levee dam. And we pretty much got it. We just need to get down here and remove these 3 blueberry bushes. So I need to unlock the stairs in order to get that to happen. And it looks like we need about 35 more science in order for that to happen. Should be another day or two. So we're going to go ahead and increase our science production by adding another inventor set. May take a few days for this to get done because we are now low on trees. We have to wait a few days for those birch to grow, and then we can actually get the other structures built. And meanwhile, I'm going to start laying out levees in this area so I can start getting that designed out. That'll be the start of our channel there. Once we can get some lumberjack flags up here, we can start clearing out all this space. Okay, I've got enough science now I can unlock the wooden stairs. I'm going to drop one right here, and we're going to remove these 3 bushes. Now currently we're out of logs, so we're waiting for some trees to grow, which they should have. And there they are. Some birch have grown. We'll only get 1 log a piece out of these, but they grow fast, so it's easier to replenish them. That's also why we have a lot of pines in the other section. They take a little bit longer to grow, but give us 2 logs apiece. So we'll get a nice little balance, and we'll be able to get a lot of logs. And there they are, taking away those bushes. So let's drop down our levees and call that dam finished. I'm going to add a staircase right here and make paths across this so they can access this entire dam area. Now we haven't added a plank storage for one main reason. We're limiting the number of logs that they use. So the lumber mill can only hold 13 planks. We don't need a lot of planks right now, so we don't need to store them. So limiting that resource so they don't use up all our logs, which we need for construction and other things, will help out down the road. Now you may notice this bad water source up here. Well, we're going to turn this into a power source later. We're going to bring it all the way across and off the map, and we're going to put a bunch of water wheels down there, and going to give us a nice large source of power. Okay, our next drought's approaching, so we've got 3 days for that drought to appear, and we're doing really well. We've got 5 water containers and 2 pumpers going.
What?
So we should be able to survive a couple of droughts without a problem. And we got our second inventor hut up. Slightly lower priority, but that's going to allow us to get more science so that we can start unlocking these platforms. So I really need to start unlocking these so that I can get up to that higher tier and start building our channel. So we'll go ahead and unlock the first one now. I need 150 science and 200 science, so a total of 350 science in order to unlock the other 2 platforms so I can get up here. And they've already got the placing our first levee and our second one, so they're already working on that pretty hard.
That's what she said!
Shouldn't be long before we have that dam built. Hopefully before the big drought hits. So our drought's already started. And I'm going to shut these 2 log pumpers off for now. And I'm going to start building up our medium warehouse tiered storage. Because we want to get sunflower seed and the next resource, which is also going to be baked potatoes. So for that, I need to get some platforms in. And a set of stairs. And then connect them all together. And we've got just enough science that we can unlock the tier 2 platform. Now we just need 200 science to get that triple platform. Should have that probably by the end of the cycle. Our drought's ended, so we're on to cycle 3. And that dam is coming along nicely. They're building up really fast. It looks like we got no shortage of food. We're doing really well. The fact that we have over 200 berries and over 200 carrots. Oh, they've already got the bottom section over here done. So it's got water overflowing right now. Not a problem for us, but it means we can start dismantling this little section. We can repurpose those logs for other parts of the dam. And once they start building that upper wall, we're going to have to destroy these trees. They'll be able to cut them down still, but we'll have to get rid of this field. We're actually going to start laying out this staircase so that we can get up here. So this will give us a free access to that upper area, and we can actually start building that channel. We also added a temporary staircase on this side, so that way they can build this half of the dam. At this point, I'm going to actually add another large stockpile here for planks. And we got more than enough science to get this triple platform unlocked, even though we really don't need it now. Got our drought approaching on the 13th day of cycle 3, and our beavers looking really good. We got plenty of lumber coming in from the trees that we planted, got plenty of food coming in, lots of water, and we've got planks being made constantly. They're working really hard on this dam. We're just going to keep going and fast forward until we get this thing built. Unfortunately, with that water coming in, these trees will no longer grow, so we're going to have to destroy these trees and start replanting over here, now that we have a much larger green area. But we're going to wait, because we're going to hit a drought. This water is going to go down, and those trees will keep growing. With that, the drought started. We've got 5 days. Some of these pine trees should grow within that time. What we're going to do is we're going to deselect these and keep them from being replanted. And whatever hasn't been cut down by the time the drought ends, we'll just have to pull up and work on replanting over in the other area. The third drought's over. Let's get to pumping water again. And you can see we pretty much got that dam almost all the way built. We've already started laying down roots for our next series of trees. So we've got oaks over here, maples here, chestnut trees, pine trees, and a small branch of birch trees. This will keep us going with wood and eventually get us pine pitch and chestnuts and maple sap. And a large series of oaks will allow us to get a lot of lumber. Now we've got all these trees grown, and these are all going to die. We're going to uproot those trees. Alright, we're on the 14th day of cycle 4, and we've got a drought approaching in 3 days. We are still 12 logs away from completing this dam. Hopefully we get some of these trees to grow up fast enough that we'll get those 12 logs in before that happens. Alternately, this cost me 40 logs to build this. I'm going to destroy this power wheel. We don't need any planks at the moment, and we can build this up afterwards. 3 logs available to make that final piece of dam. And with that, construction's finished on our dam. We've got more than enough water stored up. We've got trees growing, plenty of food being produced. Our next goal is to finish in 2 cycles. This stair step up here.
Ah, my old enemy.
And hopefully our canal dam. With that, I think I'm going to end this one here today. We'll see you guys in the next one. This is going to be Lakota Ravoc signing off. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. You're welcome, buddy.